At the start of that first lockdown, I was like, fuck this. I've got a 2-year-old. This is dog shit. And then now I'm like, thank God for the 2-year-old because I've not been bored once. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm literally waking up going,
so he needs to adopt.
Yeah, absolutely adopt.
So what we were saying earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you need a fucking reference, I'm here for you. Let's get a little Chinese one.
What if we get a child?
For have a word.
For have a word.
A studio child.
Yeah.
Mumbemwe.
Yeah, we'll get him. We'll get him in here.
Yeah.
He can do the adverts. That'll be cute. Like if you've got a child. If you've got an adopt
52.
Yeah. If we've got a child looking down that camera going, please, buy the beer.
I nearly didn't do the voice and Adam went, don't worry, Dan, I've got it.
Please buy the beer. I need it. I'm going to die if these people cannot afford to feed me.
I think having a kid in a pandemic is it makes everything weirdly more focused.
Yeah, definitely.
When it kicked off the first time and everyone was like, oh shit, our jobs are gone, I was having a problem not having panic attacks.
Yeah.
Because it's not my, like, also because I'm friends with guys like Scott Bennett, who is just a walking panic attack. So there was one point when I was really keeping on top of it, but it wasn't just like, oh, my job. It was mortgage, provider, kids. So it made that more intense. But then the day-to-day, as that sort of leveled out and then things sort of got easier, the day-to-day of being like, I've got to get up and look after this kid. I can't be like, what's the point? There is a point because she's like, what we're doing, like a 3-year-old doesn't know there's a pandemic. Yeah. So you've just got to get on with it.
Not only that, we found out we were having another baby a week before the first... It basically started. I was filming on this filming job, and I got the call. Fucking hell, off my wife saying she was pregnant.
Off your agent.
Yeah, got the call from my agent. She said she'd been in touch with
Pete, got a new job for you here, mate. 9 months' time, you're gonna have to be wiping asses again, son. Okay.
That was proper Australian in the middle of that. Yeah, so we got that. So I had that proper fucking at the start of it, just going, oh shit, this is like I was literally like, I'm just gonna go and have to get a job like straight away, and then
What did you do?
Oh, the Rishi dollars came in. We're all good.
Rishi bags.
No, I was working quite a lot up to it, so it was all good. But
are you still doing the radio stuff now?
I do bits. So Rock FM and Radio City. I do like their breakfast cover when someone's off, and but it's just like a week here and there.
So if you don't know, Pete's a comedian that we've gigged with for years, but you've also been doing proper broadcasting, fucking Rocket 97.4 Rocket FM.
I had a job on the radio for like two and a bit years, something like that, and then they just binned all the radio industry off, so that went.
So have you still been doing that throughout since the pandemic? Have you still been going in and everything?
Still been going in, yeah. So I probably get a week every 2 months, something like that. I go and do it. It's like just nice little.
Are you basically the stand-in teacher?
Yeah.
Are you the substitute radio DJ?
Me and another girl do it together now. A girl, not another girl. I'm not coming in. Yeah, I'm not coming in for an announcement. Just slip that one in. So we just do that, and then it's quite nice, really. Radio every day. Have you done radio? No.
I did.
Radio every day is fucking.
I got an audition, sort of. Do you remember what was the one in Oldham? Shanna's did the breakfast show in the weekend morning show, and they were looking for cover, and they gave me a go on a Saturday afternoon. And I was like, I think I'm going to be really good at this. I think I've got this. Went in, did it, and they never got back in touch.
Really? Yeah.
And I was like, it went pretty well. Yeah. And they did not want to know.
Radio's one of those. You can feel like you fucking nail it and you've got a job going, and then you can feel like nothing's coming, and then suddenly there's like a big job, and you're like, oh shit, yeah. But it does. When I did it, I was on Rock FM on the drive time show for a long time, and for some context, Jordan North, who's quite famous now, I took over his job when he left, basically.
Yeah, and he's just done.
He's just an I'm a Celeb and all that sort of stuff. So he's on Radio 1 now. That was just for anyone who's not heard of Rock FM, basically. And so I did that. And you're just on your own, no producer or whatever for the afternoon show. It was like I was ready to go when I was done. If you're going from there to like gigs and stuff, and you're like, yeah, great. Because some days you're great. You put something out and like loads of people get in touch, and then other days he's a bit like, Like I swore on air one day and nobody rang, nobody said anything.
Oh, that's brutal.
I was like, oh shit, this is over. And then the next day I walked in, my boss was like, morning.
When were you even listening,
And
John?
it wasn't even like a little. So I was doing this thing about how we had loads of fish cakes in our freezer because content was rife. And it was coming up to Halloween, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to put fish cakes out. And I did this little bit where I was playing off, and I was like, yeah, the kids are coming up. They're like, what have you got? Have you got any sweets? And I'm like, no, we've got fish cakes. And they're like, no sweets. I'm like, nah, we've got fish cakes to fucking burn. Anyways, Sam Smith is up next, and like literally no one.
Yeah, if you want to
literally
take
was.
it. So that's how you know you just need some validation as a commercial radio presenter when you start swearing on on purpose just to feel like
Just to really
check if anyone's that was Kirsty with the weather. I fuck kids. And let's see if anyone gets back with me. Okay.
Yeah, and then sometimes they'd be like, you'd walk in and they'd be like, oh, great numbers. We've had our radars in, absolutely amazing numbers. I was like, really? Fuck.
We were talking before you got here today about like the potential of moving Have a Word to a channel of some sort.
Yeah.
Do you think
It's made up potential? There's not like. Don't worry. No one's come in.
Commercial radio would let us do what we do because we're just from an experienced.
All right, so I'll give you. So I got a what's it called? Where you get a complaint, like an Ofcom complaint.
Yeah,
I got an Ofcom complaint once.
Yeah.
And so this is your base level, lads. This is where you're at, right? So, so every day I think it was the breakfast show used to give away £1,000 if people answered. I think it's 10 questions in a minute or something. They get them all right, they win £1,000. Playing that every morning, right? And I had to play it out every day on my drive time show. And first of all, commercial radio, you kind of like, you don't get that many links because you've adverts and all that sort of stuff. And then links you want as your own. So playing out someone else's content every day is a bit like, fuck's sakes, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to give it my own spice, right? And this woman won £1,000 and she was just like, like your fucking Manchester bit about being
the monotone.
Like, she was like that. And I think I came out of the link and just said something like, so that was Kerry from Preston, who's won £1,000 for being the dullest person on earth, or something like that. And just
you got an Ofcom complaint.
Yeah, because she rang in and was really.
We never called anyone dull.
Well, let me
maybe dull or maybe
counter with something that we had on recently. I sellotaped Mother Teresa's picture to my face, and Adam called her a cum guzzling whore.
I think Radio X is there for you, lads. I think that's where you're looking.
I didn't say she was a cum guzzling whore. I said if she ever got fucked, she might become one.
Yeah. Okay. Have you emailed Smooth FM?
I think Classic FM's off the board. And now,
yeah, so that was the sort of like I can't remember exactly what I said, but it was something along the lines.
It was
of
fairly
being
innocuous.
Really innocuous.
It was
and I
the
thought
kind of stuff that, as a stand-up comedian, would be the most gentle of barbs.
That was always the gear change, and I remember one woman who was quite matey with in the office came to me one day, and she was like, "Oh," she went, "I talked to my auntie the other day about you. She hates you." I'm like just about to go on air, and I'm like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yeah." She says, "Oh God, that PE is horrible to people." I was like, oh shit, really? Like, yeah.
Do you ever think people at Offcom just want to write back and tell people to fuck off?
Do you know what?
Just grow up.
Yeah,
do you know what I always
shut up.
Do you know what I always get really confused by? You know when there's like a headline in the Daily Mail where it's like 134 Ofcom complaints for Love Island last night, and I'm like, where is the fucking crossover between people who are watching Love Island and people who complain to Ofcom? Like, where is that fucking diagram where they're in the middle going?
And 134 complaints out of a viewership of 9.2 million.
Yeah.
Like,
also,
that's natural. Like, oh my God, can you believe 134 people complained? Who gives a fuck?
Every one of our episodes gets like 3 thumbs down on YouTube. It's probably like the same ratio, isn't it?
And it's the same 3 thumbs. I'm going to watch it.
Who are these people that are tuning in though going, yes, I want to see some fucking Adonis lads, some tits out girl. Oh, he slapped her ass. No, I'm fucking calling. Do you know what I mean? Like, where is the fucking crossover there?
I love it when people write in and complain to comedy clubs. Because if you at home, you're on your couch, you've just finished your fucking chicken dippers, you're like, oh, I didn't like that. And you just like whinging like, no, I'm going to fucking complain. But it's something else to go to a comedy club, take fucking umbrage with some joke or like aside or observation and go, right, well, I'm going to get home after my night of comedy, which was ruined, and write a complaint. And the most famous one at the Frog and Bucket
Phil Ellis one.
is when someone hand wrote out a letter of complaint saying, I enjoyed my night of comedy. We were in the front row with my husband and I, where the compere, Phil Ellis, called me a slag. I am a married mother of 2 and work in a care home. And I think you'll agree I am very much not a slag. You're like, I cannot believe she wrote it all out and then read it back and went, yep, I'm sending this.
Yeah.
I also think that, just because you're a married mother of 3 who works in a care home doesn't mean you can't be a slag. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you want to be, if you want to play around, she shouldn't be speaking for all married women of 3 who work in care homes.
Say all slags.
You shouldn't be speaking for all slags.
You're not the fucking MP for slags. The elected representative of Slagville.
What is this, Slag Southwest? No, you are not the king.
I tell you what, though, what a great place for a fucking stag do.
Slag Southwest.
Where are you going for the stag do? Dublin, Newcastle, Portland. We're going Slagtown.
Oh, right, I've heard it's really got a good strip this year. But also, like Phil Ellis, for anyone who doesn't know Phil Ellis, he's like, you wouldn't see him on stage doing 10 minutes and go, I'm going to take what that guy says seriously. Do you know what I mean? Like
he's so silly.
He just dicks around.
And when he calls someone a slag, that is the whole joke. He's really not antagonistic. He takes the piss.
Yeah.
He asks a really innocuous question. They answer and he goes, slag.
Yeah.
It's something like that. And
Yeah.
she went, I've got to write it. And fair fucks to the Frog and Bucket.
They framed it.
They got it. They framed it. They put it up in the dressing room. Mwah.
Do you know the kind of person that would actually get really offended by that? Someone who is secretly a slag.
Yeah.
Like...
Do you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb.
Yeah.
And let's just, for the sake of this, hope she's watching. Me and Pete think you're a slag.
No,
Yeah.
I don't say...
Oh dear. Can you get an Ofcom complaint for YouTube?
I'm not saying I think she's like. I'm saying the sort of person that might get offended by it is someone who secretly is or was maybe one day.
No, I just think
one day,
Yeah.
just one,
Just one.
really busy day.
I don't think it's anything to do with what she is. I think she's just a dry, boring bell end.